This here is a beautiful piece by Hans Memling, and it's titled The Diptych of Martin van Nieuwhoven. And what we see here is a two-panel, a diptych is a two-panel, and this is a private piece that was meant for his home in Bruges. We know Martin in 1487. Martin was a young 23-year-old government official, and he was from a very famous, wealthy merchant family. He later became the mayor of Bruges, and what we see here is a 23-year-old Martin, and he is in a moment of prayer and awe as the Virgin Mary and baby Jesus have come into his house, and he is stunned by this vision. Now we're going to look at this in more detail, but I just wanted to let you know that Hans Memling, the painter, he is a contemporary to the other famous painter, Van der Goes. Memling also did portraits of the Portinaris. This is Tommaso and Maria, and this would have been very similar to Martin's, except what we think is that it would have been attached to this central panel. They are now in two separate museums. The two donor portraits of Tommaso and Maria are in the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and then this piece is at the National Gallery in London. They were separated sometime during the Napoleonic Wars. All of that to say that Hans Memling is living and thriving in Bruges at the same time that Van der Goes is in Bruges, and he was hired by Martin van Nieuwhoven to paint this beautiful diptych, or two-panel piece. It's smaller in scale because it's meant for a private space, not for public viewing. To give you a sense of scale, this is a hand next to it. It's only about 1.5 feet tall and maybe 1.5 feet tall and about 1 foot wide. So just over 12 inches wide. It's small and intimate, and the moment that is occurring here is a miraculous vision of the Virgin Mary and Jesus in this space. What we see is a young, very pretty Mary. In fact, she's dressed to impress in all the latest nobility attire of the 1400s. So if we were alive in 1487 and looking at her, she is dressed like a princess of Northern Europe. And we see these gorgeous divine rays of light, and she's holding baby Jesus, who's nude, to enhance or to emphasize his vulnerability and his innocence, and the fact that he is the body that would be sacrificed. And then we know that this is in Martin's house because behind her we see the window pane. The window pane has the crest of Martin's family. Remember, I told you the Nieuwhoven family is a very prominent, wealthy family in Bruges, and that's their family crest. And then on the opposite side, in the window, we can recognize the city of Bruges, and specifically this brand new bridge. It was called the Mijnwater Bridge. It was a big deal, and there it is off in the distance. So we have our setting of Bruges. We have our setting of Martin's house, or his family crest, and then to add to that spectacle, oh, here, we'll come back to him. Hold on. I want you to see this. Another convex mirror, Miss Cortez? Yes, you know those Northern Renaissance artists. They love these convex mirrors. They display what's not in the painting, what we can't see. And what we are looking at here is the Virgin Mary's back, and Martin looking at her. So it's uniting the two panels. To further unite that, Hans Memling puts behind Martin's panel another stained glass window, this one depicting Saint Martin. Saint Martin, who Martin is named after. He's at his daily prayer. So he has his very expensive Book of Hours open, right? It's unlocked and open, and the pages are aflutter as the Virgin Mary and Jesus arrive in his house. He has this amazing, beautiful chocolate brown silk velvet tunic with this amazing black fur trimmed vest. Then it's cut at the sleeves. You have these gorgeous buttons here on the sides. Oh, it's beautiful. What a beautiful garment you are wearing, Martin. And then think about how this would have been propped up. So the line of Martin's window pane comes in at a corner, as if, well, like what we see here. There is a corner window, and he is in front of one, and she is in front of the other. And the light from those two unseen windows is coming into this scene. It is extremely realistic, hyper detail, beautiful use of chiaroscuro, right? So we have a amazing setting of Martin's house and this miracle of their reveal to Martin. And again, remember that this would have been seen as not sacrilegious, but a proclamation of his piety, his deep religious faith.